Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss our chosen literary piece under the Republic, which is The May Day Eve by Nick Joaquin. I'm Rosal Artagalog, together with my groupmates Donabel Sanda, Rose Mishoko, Neki Siguyo, Risa Suan, and Erika Rafael. So we are the Group 5 of BSN English 3B. So let's proceed to the table of contents. These include author's background, characters and characterization, settings, conflict, plot of the story, theme, moral lesson, and cultural implications. Let's start from the author's background. The author of May Day Eve is Nick Joaquin. He was born in the old district of Paco in Manila, Philippines on March 4, 1917 and died on April 29, 2004 at the age of 86. He is a Filipino writer, historian, and journalist, and also best known for his short stories and novels in the English language. Nick Joaquin started to write short poems and stories and essays in 1934. So considering as brilliant kid, he did not get to finish high school, but he discovered that he could study more by reading books on his own. Thus, he wrote so early and so well about so many plays of the Filipino throughout his entire lifespan and conferred the rank and title of National Artist of the Philippines for literature. His genre includes literature and fiction, history, and short stories. Let's proceed to the characters and characterization. So here are the following characters of May Day Eve. One is Anastasia. She is the old woman in the story who is obedient to her mistress. She is accused for being a witch and believe in superstitious beliefs. The second one is Ageda. She is pretty young woman who is so curious, hard-headed, brave, and very much willing to know her future husband. Third is Badoy Monotia, a vain good-looking man who will do everything to get what he wants and revengeful. The next is Doña Ageda. She is an old lady who has gray hair, full of sentiments, emotional and resentful. The next is Doña Ageda's daughter. So, a vain curious girl who is persistent to know about the past of her mother. The next is Don Badoy Monotolia. So he is a great lover and full of sentiments, old man, and repents for what he has done to Ageda. The last one is Voltaire, the one who believed in superstitious belief and was like grandma who at an early age want to know who will her marry. So the settings. The settings of the story was set in Intramuros, Manila, and Nick Joaquin wrote May Day Eve after World War II.
Next is the plot of the story. The plot of the story includes exposition, complication, climax, denouement, the following action, and the resolution. First is the exposition or the beginning. The beginning of the story is when Anastasia told the girls about the story that they would be able to know their future husband by reciting an incantation in front of the mirror. But if it gone wrong, they would see a devil. So, the beginning of the story started when Anastasia told the girls that if recite silang incantation in front of the mirror, makita nila ilang future husband. But if ang incantation is dili siya na recite pag-ayo, they would see a devil. Then next is the complication. The complication is when Ageda tried the incantation in front of the mirror, then she saw Don Badoy. They had some confrontation and she ended up biting Don Badoy's hand because he wouldn't let her go. At that moment, he fell in love with her, but he would still make her pay for what she did. So, the complication is when katong nakita ni Ageda si Don Badoy. So, pagkakita ni Don Ageda kay Badoy, nakakita siya devil. So, mo to gipaak niya si Don Badoy. Kay nga no dili ibuhian ang iyahang kamot. Tapos, at that moment, Don Badoy fell in love with Ageda. Next is the climax of the story. The climax of the story is when Don Badoy told his grandson Voltaire that he once saw a witch in front of a mirror when he caught him doing the incantation in front of the mirror. Amazed by what he said, Voltaire told him that his grandma also once saw the devil in that mirror. So, the climax is katong giingnan ni Don Badoy ang grandson nga si Voltaire nga nakakita daw siya witch siya in front of the mirror. So, nanapod si Voltaire nga, ako pong grandma nakakita po daw devil ana nga mirror. Next is the denouement or the falling action. The denouement of the story is when Don Badoy realized that he ponders on love that had been wasted. They had shared a bitter and loveless marriage. He forgot his love to Ageda since that May Day Eve. Last is the resolution. The resolution of the story is when Don Badoy reminisced the time when he saw Ageda in front of the mirror and when he fell madly in love with her. That old love had been blinded by hatred, but it was now resurfaced, but it's too late because Ageda is dead. So, the ending of the story is, nagreminisce na lang si Don Badoy sa katong pagkita nila ni Ageda sa in front of the mirror nga katong time nga na in love siya, na fell in love siya kay Ageda. Kay ang ilang love kay na blinded by hatred. So, but nag-resurface na siya pero it's too late kay Ageda is already dead.
So this is the continuation of the given topic, which is the May the Eve by Nick Joaquin. So they assigned me in theme. So what is the theme of the May the Eve? So the theme is magic realism and also true love. So magic realism is a genre of fiction that occurs when elements of the magical world starts to blend or mix the real world. In a story that incorporates magic realism, the magical elements are usually described or explained as a real occurrences and are presented in a very straightforward way, almost as if their occurrence is entirely normal. So this theme of magical realism or a magic realism can also be seen in some of Joaquin's other works, such as the Mass of Saint Sylvester and also the Candido's Apocalypse and Doña Jeronima rather. May the Eve, along with his other novels, utilized magic realism before it significantly grew in popularity amongst Latin American novels. And that's it. Thank you for listening and God bless.
In the story by Nick Joaquin, we have two different types of conflict: the man versus man and the man versus society. So let us start with man versus man. Conflict arises in the story May Day Eve when Don Badoy Montoya, the main character, learns through his grandson that his wife, Agueda, called him a devil. Badoy informs the kid that his wife is nothing more than a witch as a result of hearing this bad news. So this conflict became a man versus man conflict since we have two different opposing characters, which is Doña Agueda and Don Badoy. Let's proceed to the second conflict, man versus society. Agueda was forced to get married to Badoy. During the old days, arranged marriage was a practice in the Philippines. So we all know that arranged marriage has been a societal issue in the Philippines for several years, and unfortunately, Agueda didn't escape from this problem. So this scenario made the conflict a man versus society conflict.
The moral lesson of the story May Day Eve is considered by most to be that marriage should only be the result of love. The story demonstrates how love is very different from lust and that it takes a certain level of maturity to differentiate between the two. In marriage, we should always consider love because love is the foundation of all, and love cannot be founded on magic. For it to grow and blossom, lovers must nurture it by watering it with love, acceptance, and respect to each other. And also, we need to choose love very carefully because if not, we might hurt other people and also we might hurt ourselves. Cultural implications. Made the Eve story of Nick Joaquin is all about love in a patriarchal society with the theme magicalism because of the superstitious beliefs that was depicted in the story. We should not let the magic beliefs hold our future because it leads us into danger. Life is full of regret, for we always realize that we have it when it is gone. Dunya Agueda and Dun Baduy Montilla became husband and wife and were entrapped on the superstition that was badly mistaken as fate and in the end became the regrets of the two main characters. We should value and treasure the one we love before it is gone. By that, we don't regret it.